I come from a time and a period in the world where cinema used to be great. There used to be hard-hitting flicks of any genre coming out every single week, smashing records at the box office, drawing the viewer in with captivating stories, compelling characters, and an absolute array of dazzling realistic special effects. But what do we have now, ladies and gentlemen? We have the 86th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, aka the Marvel failed universe, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. May as well be called Dipshit and the Dumb Bitch Failmania, because that's all you're getting here is a pile of regurgitated slop meant for the lowest common denominator, those with IQs lower than their shoe size. I said what I said, and you know I'm right. And you fucking Marvel nerds, your blood's boiling so hot right now. Seriously, I want to ask you a question, all right? The MCU used to be amazing. We used to have some of the greatest films ever in the MCU, like Thor: The Dark World. What happened to your franchise? They are bottom of the barrel. They have scraped the bottom of the barrel. They are so desperate to get a couple extra drops out of that MCU fountain of cash that they used to get fat and lazy off of a decade ago that they will go to any lengths to do so, including trying to make Ant-Man. Yes, you heard me correct. Ant-Man, the new Iron Man. Spoiler alert, Ant-Man is not the new Iron Man. Ant-Man is a D-tier hero being cast in an A-lister role. He can't carry the MCU. Nobody else can carry the MCU. The MCU is dead. DEAD, gone. You can introduce whatever villain you want. Oh, this is the new Avengers and the Eternals, and this guy's like the new Thanos, and he's such a threat. Bull fucking shit. I guarantee you, Kevin Feige and those other clowns over there running the show haven't got a fucking clue. They've been sourcing their scripts off of fanfiction.net because the writing, the acting, the directing, the overall story arcs that these last two phases of the MCU have gone through are in the fucking toilet. You gotta figure there's a reason that Downey Jr., Evans, all the heavy hitters left at the same time. It's because they saw the writing on the wall. They knew without a doubt that the MCU was a sinking ship and they did not want to be associated with the pile of garbage it's become. You see, back in the day, back 2008, 2009, being an MCU fan, you were like on the up and coming, right? Like you were one of the OGs. Now it's just a disgusting label because everybody wants to pretend like they're into superheroes. The people who wrote the comics that these stories are based on, if they're dead, they're rolling in their graves, and if they're alive, they're changing their name because I guarantee you they want nothing to do, no brand association. They do not want their name anywhere near this regurgitated dog shit known as Ant-Man, known as the Eternals, known as Doctor Strange. It's all D-tier garbage because they ran out of heroes and they decided there's just enough dumb fucking idiots in the world like you morons who are going to go out and continue shoveling money into this franchise until the well has truly ran dry. I tell you what, DC's out here doing a great job. Can't wait for The Flash. We have Michael Keaton back as Batman. We got Ben Affleck back as Batman. Joss Whedon's Justice League is better than anything the MCU has put out in the last decade, and you know that's a fact. That is an absolute cold as ice fact. You can't debate me on that because it was something that an MCU film hasn't been in 10 years. It was entertaining. It was magnificent. It had me laughing. It had me crying. It had me feeling all the feels. It had me emotionally invested in Batfleck. It had me emotionally invested in Henry Cavill's CGI removed mustache. That is something that the MCU has never and will never do because they're a complete joke. And you are fucking kidding yourself if you think they don't realize this. That's why they turned all their attention to the streaming nerds, right? The people, the binge watchers, the people who have nothing going on in their lives better than to sit back on their fat ass and literally watch an entire season of a TV show. Something that's generally spread out over 8 to 12 weeks in a single day. These are the people living off disability, the people who are collecting money from your paycheck and my paycheck. The government's just taking that money out and feeding it to them so they can sit back on their fat ass and watch these TV shows about people far more successful than them that they will never ever become. But they're too stupid to realize that they're the punchline of that joke. They are the decimal point in between the billions of dollars and the cents that the CEOs are making off of their dumb asses. These are the clowns out here who can't be expected to get up and go down to the local theater and buy a ticket for $20, buy a popcorn and a soda for $50. So again, lowest common denominator, we got to give Loki his own show. We got to give Vision and Wanda their own show. We have to give Hawkeye his own show. The people that nobody gave a fuck about back in the day have been relegated to having their own TV shows. And it doesn't end there. Of course, we have the agenda. We have the checklist, the diversity checklist with She-Hulk. And, we have the Captain or the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The new Captain America. It's such a joke. It is such a joke. The MCU needs to close up shop. It is an absolute disaster at this point. I seriously believe that they are sourcing their scripts from 14-year-old edgelords on the internet, and it's starting to show. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is an absolute cinematic failure. I do not recommend you spend a dime on it. If Disney gave out vouchers for free movie tickets, I would suggest you burn them or use them as toilet paper, because you get far more entertainment staring at a shit stain on the front of that voucher than you ever would sitting through this 2-hour snooze fest. The most exciting part of the movie was when the credits rolled. Not because the end credit and mid-credit scenes were so good, but rather I knew I could get up and beat traffic out of my theater, because I knew all the neck-beard, no-life-having nerds were going to keep their ass planted in their seats for another 20 minutes after the movie quote-unquote ended, just so they can see the scene that sets up the next phase of bullshit that isn't going to become relevant for 5 films and 3 years from now. Don't waste your money.